Billy is in the dark dimension and his glasses are broken on the floor. Due to this, he can't see anything around him, but he hears a noise and starts to ask if anyone is there. Golder was close to Billy and the noise he heard was the chains he had. Golder starts talking to Billy and tells him that he will slowly get used to that place until he feels it is his home. The reason Golder is there in chains is because he failed Rita and lost his Green Ranger. He tells Billy that he had failed Rita many times before. Why is it different now? Golder gets very angry and basically tells him to worry about his own problems. In the command center we can see that the Black Dragon is in the Zord hideout near Jason, the Red Ranger's Zord. The monster uses his power again to wake up the Zords and tells them it's time to get up. Apparently, this power has the ability to control everything using the power of the Morphin Grid. In another part of the command center we can see that many putty patrollers are lying on top of each other to form a wall, and then Rita's helpers burn them with fire to transform them into a rock wall. Inside the command center Rita asks the putty patrollers to put their throne in the same place where Zordon's tube was. Then Rita sits on the throne with Alpha 5's head in her hand and starts talking to him as if she were talking to a human being. She tells him that she couldn't have known what was going on because she served Zordon, and then says that she is going to create a lamp with that head so that for the first time it will serve a purpose. In the pocket dimension, Trini starts checking all the morphers to find out what happened to her powers, but realizes that there was nothing wrong with the morphers and everything was working. She is very overwhelmed by everything that was going on as she feels that Zordon, Alpha, or Billy could have easily figured this out. Jason and Zack try to encourage her not to give up, and she comes to the conclusion that she has no powers because of the way they connect to the Morphin Grid. In the Green Ranger saga, we had already seen that Tommy connects in a different way to the grid, and because of this, everyone has lost their powers except Tommy. Elsewhere in the pocket dimension, Tommy is still watching the replays of the videos of the explosion that opened the portal through which the Black Dragon entered, and is still feeling guilty for having fought with Zack and Jason. This fight was what filled the green chaos crystal with energy, and this is why Tommy feels he could have prevented it. Kimberly sits down with him to listen to him and keep him from continuing to blame himself for everything. Tommy says that this was the opportunity to make a good impression, but he blew it, and Kimberly sarcastically responds to him by saying that the first impression was trying to kill them. She then tells him that it was also the team's fault since they were used to the same people and sometimes people have a hard time with change. She tells him that he was the only one who didn't lose his powers, and maybe this is the opportunity to prove how valuable he is. At that moment, they begin to see a message that Rita is transmitting from the command center. This message is transmitted all over the planet, and she begins to say that the war is over. She asks all the leaders of the world to surrender to her before she destroys them all. She then tells them that she has destroyed the Power Rangers, so they won't be able to come save them, and that she also has control of the Zords. We can see that the Zords are in different cities around the world, ready to follow Rita's orders. Then she says that the leaders of the world have 24 hours to think about it. Those who don't want to surrender will be considered her enemies, and she will conquer them by force. In the pocket dimension, all the Rangers gather to make a plan after hearing Rita's message. They all try to come up with information for the plan, but Trini keeps regretting that Billy isn't there to help them, and Tommy tells them that he can rescue him. Jason doesn't know if the pocket dimension can be entered, and Tommy replies that at the base of the moon there is a portal to enter the dark dimension. Zack asks Tommy how he is going to get there, and apparently Jason and Tommy already have a plan. They both use the Dragon Zord to fly to the moon, and it is that the Zords are very powerful machines that can achieve incredible things. Even though Jason already knew that the Zords could fly to the moon, they are both still impressed that they have managed to fly there. The moon base is guarded by putty patrollers who start shooting at the Dragonzord. Tommy and Jason fight back and easily destroy the putty patrollers with the Dragonzord's finger missiles. Tommy gives Jason the Dragon Dagger so he can continue to control the Dragonzord and then leaves to enter the moon base. Tommy tries to get in without anyone seeing him while all the putty patrollers are still running outside to defend the castle. Then the Green Ranger gets to the machine that opens the portal to enter the dark dimension, but unfortunately, the Black Dragon was waiting for him. In the pocket dimension, Trini is still trying to think of some solution to these problems. She tries to think of Zordon and tries to understand if he can be somewhere since the energy cannot be destroyed. Then she starts to regret again that Billy is not there with her, as he would have found the clue she is looking for. Zack tries to comfort her by telling her that she is doing well and that she is pushing herself too hard. Trini then starts to regret telling Jason to back out of the battle they were having with the Black Dragon, but Zack tells her that was a good call since they were taking a beating and it could have been worse. Then they start to hear something on the screen and to their surprise think it's Alpha. On the moon, Jason continues to destroy all the weapons on the moon base, but the Black Dragon hits Tommy hard enough to throw him far away. The monster then learns that Jason is controlling the Dragonzord even though he has no powers and plans to confront him. The Black Dragon transforms to a giant size to start fighting the Dragonzord controlled by Jason. The monster is very powerful and also starts to beat up the Dragonzord. This monster hits the Zord so hard that it knocks Jason out and the Dragonzord is left floating and unable to move. Tommy is very worried about Jason, but unfortunately, he has a bigger problem right now as the Black Dragon is gigantic and can easily crush him. Because of this, the monster takes full advantage of the leverage he has and grabs Tommy by his arm. The Rangers are in the worst moment of their history since they have no powers and the last chance to save the person who can help them is lost.